What's up guys, Luke here with another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some of the best ways you can build passive income in 2019. Let's go. Hey guys, so one of the best things that you can do in 2019, and obviously this is an obvious one, but we're going to talk about it right away because I'm actually doing it myself, is purchase a rental property. Obviously, real estate has always been, kind of high up on the investment list for not only myself, but pretty much every other person out there, and it's for good reason. That's because real estate is basically, one of the longest standing proven investments, and also to date, the real estate industry has produced more millionaires than any other business industry out of every other one that there is to offer out there. So basically, real estate has a proven track record for making people millionaires. So purchasing a rental property, it's not always feasible for everybody because of the fact that obviously not everybody always has, the down payment or the funding to, go and get a real estate property, especially if you live in a state like, say, California, where everything is kind of overpriced based on square footage to other states. But real estate properties, that's probably number one on my list. Now, if you own a home, but you cannot purchase a rental property, another thing that you can do to basically make passive or residual income is to use your spare room in your house. So I've had other videos like this that I've talked about early on in my YouTube channel where I basically said that if you want to buy a house, you can almost live mortgage free. And basically what you do is you buy a house that is 4 to 5 bedrooms. You buy a house that's basically got 1 or 2 extra bedrooms, and you want a house that kind of has a layout that basically positions you on one end of the house and then possibly your tenants or your renters on the other side of the house, which basically makes it easy to share the house. That way you're not always running into each other, you're not hearing each other. Obviously people, are up and moving all times of the night, all times of the day. Everybody's kind of on different schedules, and you don't want to be bumping into each other all the time or bugging each other's sleep schedules. But one of the best passive ways to make passive income, and something that I've personally implemented before in my life, is make use of your spare room. Now, one of the biggest things, though, about this method that obviously is a con compared to having an actual rental property is you really, really, really need to cherry pick or pick a quality tenant. Because remember, you're going to be living with the person. It's not just like renting out the house. But this is literally one of the easiest ways to bring in some residual income. You can literally earn an extra $10,000 a year depending on where you live in the States. Let's just say you rent out, a spare bedroom in your basement, or say 2 spare bedrooms, and you rent it out for, say, $600 to $700 a month. That's close to $9,000 in income at the end of the year. I mean, that's crazy. Not to mention, since they're living in person with you, a lot of people don't even sign contracts. It's all cash. So, I mean, obviously at the end of the year, you should be reporting that on your taxes, but at the same time, it's cash up front. It's going to help you throughout the entire year. It's literally going to pay your mortgage for you. So that's incredible, and it's so easy to get this done. I mean, what I recommend is you furnish your room and use that spare bedroom. Like I said, make sure you pick a quality tenant because you don't want to be living with somebody that you don't like or don't know. But make use of that spare room and get yourself an extra $7,000 to $10,000. There's absolutely no reason not to do it. I've done it before. It works awesome, and it really, really helps when it comes to bills, especially if you've actually got a mortgage. Now, the downside to this is if you don't own a home, it's kind of hard to sublease a room in an apartment just because of the fact that, one, you have to run it by your landlord, and then 2, apartments are generally smaller than homes, and they're not really laid out for 2 people to live with each other, especially if you don't know each other prior. Like, it's not like renting, a apartment and renting it with a friend of yours. You'd be renting to a total stranger. So it doesn't really work for apartments, but if you have a home, make sure to use, your spare room to make you some extra money. Another obvious one that I'm going to talk about is investing in the stock market. Now, I love the stock market. I think it's a great thing to do if you've got an extra $10, $20, $30, $40,000 and you don't want to research stocks. Go find a investment manager like Fidelity or something like that basically manages assets, and just throw the money into a safe stock. And, it's really important to not just let money sit around. I've talked about this in a lot of my videos, And that's because with inflation, your money's actually going to go down each year. And it's just not, it's just really not a good thing to just let your money sit around and not do anything with it. After all, if you can't let your money work for you, you're never going to get rich and you'll always be working. But I think stocks are a really, really, really good passive income for 2019. I think the stock market's going to be very strong this year. And the nice thing about the stock market is you can start with $100, you can start with $50. You can pretty much start with any amount that you want and grow it. Make it a small goal of yours to, put your money away constantly and just keep a little money, take it from, your daily income, whether you're working a job or you're working a business, work it almost like a salary. Like set an amount, say $50 a week or $50 every 2 weeks, whatever you can afford, and have it pulled from your checking account or your bank account and transfer it right into your Robinhood account. Now, of course, if you have a investment firm like Fidelity or somebody who is, investing all your money for you, well, you'll set something up to them. But it's just something to keep in mind that stocks, especially in 2019 with how the market's been, are a really good passive, or residual income for 2019. Another thing you could do, you need a little more technical skills for this, but that would be creating like an app. People who have created apps blow up. Flappy Bird is obviously a video game app, which absolutely blew up. Now, the funny thing about Flappy Bird is the fact that when Flappy Bird came out, the original designer of it didn't even really want it to get that popular. And actually it got so popular and he was actually kind of sick of the fame. I think he said he made around $30,000 and then he was just kind of done with it. Just cashed out, took the app off marketplace, and people were selling phones with the app on it for hundreds of dollars over what they were worth, and it was crazy. So creating an app has a huge potential payoff. Also, could be a huge time sink if you're not experienced and can't bust out the app fast and get it done and, get it up in the marketplace. Another thing you could do is you could make an online course. Obviously, there's lots of online courses out there. You could do something simple like, career related or weight loss, sleep habits, e-commerce, teaching people how to make money, all kinds of stuff. You could host it on ClickFunnels. You could host it on, Udemy. Now, Udemy is good, but a lot of the courses on there are, for lesser prices, so you might want to do a simpler course for that. You could also host it on Teachable. A lot of people host their courses on Teachable. So making an online video course just on knowledge or just a topic that you feel knowledgeable is another really good residual income for 2019. And then the last one that I want to talk about for 2019 residual income is YouTube. Now, YouTube takes a long time to build. Even me personally, I haven't made a ton of money yet off of YouTube, but in the future, yeah, it would be nice to get paid for some of the educational videos that I do. However, YouTube takes a long time to build. So my advice is work on finding a real estate property. If you do own a mortgage, probably, try and use the house that you have and rent out that spare room. Try and get some money into stocks. Maybe, spend some freelance time looking up how to make an app, or hire somebody if you have a really good idea to make the app for you. And then, like I said, you could try doing an online course also. Try teaching people. Even if it's, $10 or $20 a course on Udemy, it'd be cool to get some residual income coming into your flow. It's always good to add extra incomes to your income flow. So that being said, going back to YouTube should be kind of done on the side of all of the above. Like if you have other residual incomes that you're trying to generate in 2019, I really think YouTube should be on your list also. But keep in mind, YouTube takes a lot longer to build in most cases. So YouTube's going to be kind of a slower process. However, if you stay steady with it and you are persistent and you post, videos regularly or on the daily and it's good content, people will subscribe, people will like your stuff. Make sure you thumbs up this video. And you will eventually have a passive income through YouTube, which is awesome. I mean, there's so many inspirational videos out there with people who have, high income from YouTube monthly. There's people out there doing educational stuff on business. There's people out there streaming video games. There's people out there doing automotive vlogging. There's people out there just plain doing vlogging, and it's crazy. And they're all making a living online, with passive incomes. Now, the only income I listed here that's really offline is really the mortgage and then possibly the real estate or property rental. So a lot of online income can be generated just by basically a laptop. You don't need really to have a physical location or anything. You just have to put in daily effort. And obviously for the YouTube videos, you do have to film in an actual physical place. But a lot of people who are vlogging sometimes just, film themselves in the car or even walking or just day-to-day activities. So it's really crazy. But anyways, these are kind of my top picks for, creating a residual income for yourself in 2019. I think if you work on all these, or at least work on one or two out of this list, you'll find yourself with an extra, lump of cash at the end of 2019 and possibly a complete residual income stream at the end of 2019 that you can keep building into next year. So that being said, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.